Hi, good evening for people watching in the Philippines right now, and for people here already in Spain, um good afternoon, I guess, because tanghali na. Ayan, I hope you guys have a great week. Um I wanted to do a live earlier this week and we did do it and then it got cut off because someone kept reporting the live. So I tried to appeal it, but I guess my luck ran out on reporting it. So definitely no worries about that. We're still gonna go ahead and do the Friday lives. We don't do it anymore on the Facebook group because apparently it gets deleted anyway. So to lessen the work na lang, we do the live here on TikTok and we post it on like yung full length video on YouTube. So I guess that would make things much easier for everybody. And yeah, we're talking about this week about the taxes and social security for the Spain digital nomad visa. So I know that a lot of you already like want to jump in, and your requirements, qualified bako and all that, and you guys get all excited knowing you're qualified, which completely understand. But also at the same time, a lot of people have questions on whether how much taxes they need to pay for the Spain Digital Nomad Visa and kung magkano ba yung social security. So first and foremost, it actually depends on first, unahin natin yung parang yung ano natin, pinaka fork in the road is ikaw as applicant, ano yung pathway mo to apply? Are you applying as a remote employee or as a freelancer? Kung self-employed ka kasi or freelancer, then you have to follow a different tax rate and iba rin siya if you're a remote employee. But as we all know, and I guys, I tell you this like every week, medyo mahirap kasi yung remote employee route. And a lot of us na VAs, na freelancers, most likely than not, are independent contractors, have multiple clients, ganyan. Hi din, girly pop. Ayun, but definitely, ang important thing is if remote employee ka, the benefit or for taxes is very good. Kasi you get 24% na tax rate. However, this is not a given. Kailangan mo pa rin siyang i-apply. You need to apply for something called Beckham Law. And don't forget na upon application, dapat na ni-register ka na ng company mo sa Spain Social Security and Taxes System. So, bago ka pa ma-approve, kailangan, naka-register ka na. So, ayun. So, i-apply mo yung Beckham Law, which is yung 24% na flat tax rate. And so far, marami namang na-approve in this route, but talagang kailangan mo ng parang um, proper tax accountant to evaluate you kung ma-approve ka ba or anything like that. So, other than that, the social security is kind of the same for remote employee. And now let's move on to like yung mas madami pa na, mas madaming nag apply as this route, which is mga freelancers, mga VAs, mga self-employed individuals. For self-employed individuals, ang social security na babayar mo for the first year, once you register, after mo na-approve, mag-register ka na, right? So, pagka-register mo ng social security, for the first year, you get a discount. So, discounted rate siya at 87 euros per month. So, per month yon. Itong social security rate na to, hindi siya nakabase like with anything. Sometimes it differs from location to location, but as to be honest with you, it's the same almost for everyone. Talagang 87, 89 euros siya. And then after your first year, susunod ka na doon sa parang progressive rate, which is basically meaning kung magkano yung kinikita mo, doon siya nakabase. For example, for me that I'm earning around 3,000, 3,500, ganyan, I am paying for my second year ngayon ng about 260 euros per month. And that's for social security. That means you don't need private insurance, you get the public health card, um, ikaw nagbabayad ka towards your retirement. So yun yung social security basically. Ito yung like for example, pwede mong i-include doon na taasan yung rate mo if you want um to receive unemployment benefits, ganyan. So, pero ito pwede mo nang gawin after mo nakapag-apply ng citizenship, which is after 2 years of legal residency. So, ayun, wala namang problema about that. Other than that, yun yung monthly mong payment for Social Security or what they call autonomo. So, para hindi ka ma-confuse. And then, ang next mong babayaran is your taxes. With your taxes, hindi siya kagaya ng sa remote employee. So, ito progressive tax rate siya. Depending on where you live and how much you make. So, in Madrid, it's like the best place kasi for taxes because it's like a tech hub and stuff like that. So, it parang nag-ano sila, nag-encourage for people to invest in Madrid. So, that's why the taxes there are very good. So meron parang konting, a little bit of discount because you registered your address from there. But generally speaking, you pay kung ano yung equivalent ng kinikita mo. So for example, the higher you go in the ladder, kung kunyari, like you're earning 5,000 euros, 7,000 euros, the higher you pay. For example, for me, I'm making around, again, 3,000 euros to 3,500 euros. Currently, what I'm seeing is about 20 to 22% yung depending kung how much I'm making yung nababawas. And then of course, after yan ma-compute, so 22% ng quarter na ano mo, every quarter mo kasi ito binabayaran. So, i-compute yan yung magkano yung kinita mo for the quarter and then ano yung percentage and then ima-minus yung tax deductions mo. So, ayun, yun yung basically pag-compute niyan. So, you pay your social security and your taxes. So, yung social security monthly, yung taxes mo ay quarterly. Okay, let's answer some questions. Where did you find your job? So I think I shared a little bit of my background before here on TikTok, but I actually started in corporate. I did a lot of marketing, social media marketing and stuff like that, and a little bit of graphic design. For some big brands in the Philippines. And then I moved to freelancing. I tried LinkedIn and stuff like that, which is siguro pagbaguhan ka. And I was very young. Like, I was very young around this time. I was like 18, 19. So, no one want, and I didn't graduate. I don't have a degree related to what I'm working on. So, ayun, parang it took a while. So I was like, okay, let's try a VA agency just to get things started. And that's what really started stuff for me. So I went with a VA agency. But after that, parang after 1 year, ganyan, I started looking again on LinkedIn. And I guess the portfolio made more sense now. I understood how freelancing works, I'm not really the best person to ask about it because I feel like my journey was pretty much easy compared to how other people's journey is. So definitely follow some big people here on TikTok that do like a lot of freelancing VA content, like Mia Juan. We also have like Molongski. I get that he's not the most well liked, but he really gives a lot of very good, valuable advice for free. And when I started my VA journey, I didn't pay like anything. I didn't pay any like courses or anything like that. You just really have to find your niche. Yun talaga yung first step. Hanapin mo kung saan ka magaling. Yun lang. And everything else will follow. Hello, ma'am. Paano po ba maging digital nomad? So, yeah, like we talk about the digital nomad visa a lot, but kailangan kasi specific eh. But we have the DIY guide on the website atainspain.com. Nandun din naman yan sa profile ko. So you can click on my profile and go to my link tree. How to enroll po sa Spanish? I'm sorry, I don't understand necessarily yung question. Um, I'm a senior high school grad and gusto ko pa mag-apply sa ganyang work. Yeah, definitely you can start like honing your skills. Like ano ba yung meron kang skills? And then ano yung sa tingin mo niche or parang ano yung mga um job titles na related doon sa kung saan ka magaling, and then improve mo yung skills mo by learning how the applications work, paano yung KPIs, which is key performance indicators, ganyan. Um, Paano po mag-apply as a digital nomad? So you have to have like to be qualified first. We do have the qualification survey as well on the website, but definitely you have to be working remotely, you have to be meeting the minimum income requirement, and you have to make sure na wala kang like any derogatory records sa NBI and stuff like that, and that you can get all of the requirements, especially sa client mo. Kasi kailangan 3 months ka na kay client, nagwo-work and nami-meet yung minimum income requirement. Okay, other than that, um, did you study before go Spanish before going there? No. So I was actually like, baka naman hindi ako, ano, like, baka hindi naman ako makapasa, baka hindi naman ako, so I was sour graping a lot na maybe not, like, maybe it's like, hindi ako makatuloy, ganyan. So, up till the time na I got my visa, I didn't really picture how my life is or how my life would be like here. So yeah, and I just when I came here, I didn't know like a lot of Spanish. But trust me, as long as you put yourself out there, you'll slowly learn din naman talaga. And they're very nice here in Barcelona. Yun. Minsan nga parang nakaka-deter siya ng pag-aaral ng Spanish kasi they also want to like practice their English with you, to be honest. And then ayun, okay. Ano po mga requirements po 'pag mag-apply? We do have the full requirements, but it generally depends kasi kung ano yung pathway mo. Have a lot of videos on this channel about that, but that generally yung mga requirements is your contract, your certificate of engagement or certificate of employment, yung certificate of good standing ng client mo, na yung bank statements mo and invoices showing na nami-meet mo yung minimum income requirement. In here in UHE, pag single applicant ka, the minimum income requirement is 2,763 euros. So, ayun. Magkano po minimum income requirement? Yeah. So, it depends kasi for example, meron kang dependents, medyo mas higher siya. I do have, I think, the pinned video of the minimum income requirement in my profile then. Yeah, so no worries about that naman. Paano po kapag walang ITR here? So generally, if wala kang ITR, like mas better na mag-apply ka directly in Spain instead of here, or instead of there in the consulate. So, yung consulate kasi naghahanap talaga sila ng ITR. So far naman here sa applications that I did for my clients here in UHE, wala namang nagiging problem. And even ako, nung nag-apply ako, wala talagang problem. Pero ngayon, naghahanap na talaga sila sa consulate. But of course, prerogative nyo naman yon if you want to try. Can I ask a question? Is pharmacist in demand in Spain? I'm not really sure because I don't really look for the job market here in Spain because I kept my VA job, and you have to pag you're under the digital nomad visa. But definitely if you looked over on LinkedIn and Stepstone, if makita mo siya if in demand. But to be honest, if you're gonna look into it then like other European countries as well, na kung paano yung if you're looking for money wise kasi 'di ba, I don't think Spain is up there when it comes to like minimum wage. Ayun. Meron po bang cover letter 'pag sa UHE nag-a-apply? Yes. Need pa po pumunta sa Spain or pwede online apply ITR? Yeah, if you're applying directly in Spain, you have to be in Spain by at the time of application. So some people need like mag-apply sila Schengen visa or tourist visa. Yeah, and then you have to apply once you get here. Pwede online application ITR. I'm not sure with the online application ng ITR. Do you mean ba yung binabayaran online is yung ITR? Yeah, I think you can pay now online sa BIR. So, wala namang problema doon. It just has to be duly signed or stamped by BIR. So, kailangan mong idala doon yung binayaran mo, yung parang receipt na you receive, and then isa-stamp yun ng BIR. Or sometimes, bibigyan ka nila ng certified true copy. So, wala namang problema with that. Ayun. Other than that, yeah, definitely we can talk a little bit about, I guess, the requirements for it. Kasi iba yung requirements if you're applying, for example, in the consulate, and iba din yung requirements if you're applying in UHE, which is here, in Spain directly. Ayun yung parang Ministry of Immigration here. Pwede po ba mag-apply ng digital certificate kahit nasa Pinas pa? Yes, so I do have that on the DIY guide. I got my digital certificate sa Consulate of Spain in Makati. So yeah, you can. Definitely siya. So wala namang problema doon. Kailangan lang nila i-verify yun eh. Kung sino ka, kung totoo ka bang person, ganyan. Na ikaw ba talaga yung humihingi na to. Kasi the digital certificate will be emailed to you. So kailangan nila i-verify na ikaw talaga yun. Kasi very important yan when you come here in Spain. It's used for booking your appointments, filing your taxes. So super important niya. Alam niyo yung parang sa NBI, yung kailangan mo ng passport, like ng password and username tuwing magkukuha ka ng NBI clearance. So here, to deter people from doing that, para hindi ka na, and verified yung person, para nandun na yung information mo lahat online. Yan yung gamit in digital certificate. Paano po? So, first you have to email them to ask for the digital certificate appointment, yung consulate. And it's con.manila.sita@maec.es. I do have that on the DIY guide. Then, email mo sila, ilagay mo yung passport number mo, full name mo, and yung NIE mo. So, lagay mo yun doon and that you are looking to get the digital certificate from them. Then once nakuha mo yung once nagbigay na sila ng appointment sa kailangan mo lang pumunta doon. And then I also link the form on the DIY guide. So the DIY guide, you can see that on the link in my bio din naman. Ayun. So ayun, I hope that answers the question. But yeah, we can go to requirements since a lot of like new people are here because I definitely understand after na-ban ng ilang beses yung TikTok ko, I think it's not recommending people the live anymore. So, yeah, definitely I think we need to really start na i-build siya ulit, So, definitely if you can repost it, that would be really nice. But, ayun, let me just find yung list here. Ayan. Have the list here. So, ito is makukuha mo rin to sa BLS website mismo. But we can go through each one of them. Ano yung ibig sabihin? Kasi I get it medyo vague yung pag-describe nila minsan sa like requirements. So, I'd rather na isa-isahin natin sila. So, first is yung duly accomplished national application form. So, ito, mada-download nyo siya sa BLS website. Ito if nag-a-apply kayo sa consulate, sa BLS kasi kayo mag-a-apply. So BLS is parang third party siya. Sila yung nagko-collect ng documents and then isinesend off nila sa consulate. And then of course, the next thing is yung recent passport size photo with white background. So ito parang sabihin nyo lang doon na yung Schengen visa size doon sa like photo city, ganyan. And then the next is, of course, yung valid na passport with at least 12 months. But if you're planning to come here to Spain talaga, I think 3 years dapat yun and you are at least 4 years kasi renewable naman yung digital nomad visa. And then, of course, the next is yung complete photocopy of the valid passport. Before, lahat ng pages, pinapa-photocopy nila. Excuse me. But now, oh my God, they only like, oh, thank you so much, Jean. But yeah, but now, ano na lang, yung biodata na lang yung hinihingi nila. So, of course, you can still bring maybe all pages of your passport. Pero, yun, recently, parang ang hinihingi lang nila is yung biodata page. And then the next thing is your foreign identity number, yung NIE certificate na i-email sa'yo. You need to make sure You get that one. And then, of course, the next one is yung accreditation of a minimum employment or professional relationship of 3 months at the date of the application with the foreign company, with which said relationship is maintained. So, if remote employee ka, dapat nakalagay doon yung tenure mo and yung clear permission from the company to the worker to carry out remote work. So, ito is basically dalawa siya na documents. Yung contract mo, pinapakita doon yung compensation, kung kailan ka nag-start, yung proof na stable itong employment mo. And second, yung certificate of employment with parang recommendation na, yes, we support this person's application for the digital nomad visa. We explicitly allow them to work remotely in Spain. So, very important yon. And then, of course, if self-employed worker ka, yung tenure nung contractual relationship. So, ito, kailangan talaga nung contract, nung terms and conditions, of course. So, ito, kailangan nyo i-watch out. If may multiple clients kayo, kailangan walang nakalagay doon na hindi kayo ina-allow for multiple clients. Ganyan. Dapat wala yun doon. Wala dapat like parang ba yun? Parang yung agreement wherein hindi dapat parehong state yung ano mo. So you have to make sure na yung contract nyo is walang conflicting with if you have multiple clients. And then of course, kailangan din ng certificate of engagement or it's fine kung certificate of employment din. Pero basically, same with the employee. Kailangan nandun yung tenure mo, yung confidence sa'yo ng company that they will continue to like, work with you like for the next like few years na stable yung professional relationship nyo. And then of course, ang next is accreditation of a real and continuous activity for at least 1 year of the company. So ito is parang certificate of good standing or certificate of status from the business registry ni client. For example, you have a client in the US or you have a client, let's say in the Philippines. Kailangan na either hingin mo kay client yung parang proof na nagbabayad sila ng taxes, compliant sila, and that more than 1 year na sila. And then, of course, kailangan din, if sa Philippines, ganun din. So, sa Philippines, kinukuha siya sa DTI or SEC. In the USA, you get it from the Secretary of State. Okay, let's answer some of the question. Buenas noches. Hello. It's possible to explain in English. Actually, this is just because a lot of Filipinos are on the live, so that's why I speak mainly in Tagalog. But if you want a free consultation call so I can explain all of this to you and your personal strategy, it's for free. So you can just book that on athenspain.com. So definitely we can speak English during that. But this is just, because I'm Filipino and this whole thing, started for helping other Filipinos as well. So yeah, but definitely you can book a free consultation there. No problem. But yeah, the next one is proof of solvency or economic needs. So what does this mean? So a lot of people were asking, paano if savings? So because proof of solvency is most likely savings before, diba? But no, what they mean here is they want to see your invoices, your bank statements, your bank certificate showing na A, yung invoices mo pareho sa nakalagay na hours mo or billable hours mo and rate mo yung binabayad sa ni client. Bank statement mo na kung saan pumapasok itong ini-invoice, dapat mag-match siya dun sa bank statement mo. And then yung bank certificate mo is to show na may konting savings ka at least na hindi kasi if wala kang savings dito pa lang sa Pilipinas, parang medyo dehado, 'di ba? Na pupunta ka doon na wala kang savings, like paano yung pambili mo ng pamasahe, ng pag-rent mo ng apartment, right? So definitely hindi naman kailangan na sobrang malaki, but definitely you can do that as well to just show na parang in confidence sa application mo, especially if you are getting dependents with you. Don't Filipinos speak English as well? Yeah, they do, but some people don't. It's not like a national language for us. Hi sis, kakapasok lang. How much in US dollars ang need to comfortably move dyan with that visa? Do you mean savings wise, or do you mean like how much you're making? Because that would depend on how many dependents you're gonna have. Depends on how stable your situation is. We know freelancing is not, stable. So definitely. Just give me 1 second to actually pause the. Okay, hopefully that fixes the internet issue. But yeah, it definitely depends kung ilan kayo, ganyan. Kasi I cannot give you like a number, but definitely that for me, there was not much of a change. In the Philippines, I was very maluho. In the Philippines, so I didn't want to like. I mean, I understood how like if I move here, I have to cut back on some things. Like for example, services. Like I don't do my nails anymore. I just do them myself, and I just clean them. I don't even like do them like nice. But I used to get 3D nails that cost like 40, 40, 50 euros. But here, 40, 50 euros will only get you like a basic manicure. So, like, what's the point? So, I understand there will be like some adjustments like that. But definitely, there wasn't much to change. Food here is actually cheaper, it's much healthier. There's much more options, especially for me because I live alone most of the time. So there are a lot of like just easy to cook meals. In Mercadona, you can even just cook the like microwave meals from there and eat it there. I love making sandwiches now. They're just easy, and especially for me, I'm very busy. Like like I have a lot of clients. But now I'm actually cutting back on them and just like kind of focusing a little bit more about in Athens, Spain, because I do have clients as well applying for the Spain Digital Nomad Visa. Need po ba walang outflow ang savings account? No, like it's fine if there's an inflow outflow. Like no worries with that because they'll only look at the bank certificate that seeing like okay, you have that savings, you have that nest egg. How much po ang dapat laman ng bank if sa UHE mag-a-apply if labas yung pumapasok na required income? Nothing really, but if you have a family, at least have some savings that like show 3 times of your how much you're making so that you're safe. Like they can actually see na okay, she has savings. She can pay for a down payment for an apartment and stuff. Single po, the minimum income. Yeah, like so I came here with the minimum income requirement, which was much lower before. It was like 2,360 because I applied in the consulate and then I reapplied here. So but I would say comfortably I spend maybe just well, sometimes my boyfriend is here. So for us together, it costs almost 1,500 per month or 1,800, depending on how much we like going out. Like, for example, right now, it's so cold outside. I don't feel like going out much, but we used to like go out a lot because there was a lot happening outside. We live in Barcelona, so it's like always busy. So, yeah. My two daughters, Filipino citizens, and both are coming in Spain, but no one speaks Tagalog. Yo, I definitely get what you mean. So there are people in the US that come here with the digital nomad visa using their US passport because you get like 90 days of Schengen days. You don't even need to apply for a visa. And then after the 2-year legal residency, they apply with their Filipino passport to get the fast track for Spanish citizenship. Maria Spies, how do we start po? I meet the 2,600 income, but I don't know how. So we have the DIY guide, but we also have a free consultation call on athenspain.com. So no worries about that. You can definitely go ahead there to just to see how to start your journey if it's for you because or you can watch the videos I make here as well. I feel like they are very informative, especially the early ones. Just now I'm a little bit sick kasi, so it's hard to like film and edit and stuff. Yeah. Kala ko naka-filter. I think I do have a filter though. Kasi I think TikTok automatically puts a filter on my face. Yeah, but I have like smudge eyeliner because I didn't do my makeup. How about if I am using CIMB? Do we need? No, but you need to get it notarized. Pwede din ba mag-part-time dyan sa Spain? Not virtually, digital nomad visa. No, you can't. So it has to be still remote work if you want to work here in Spain. And it has to be only 20% of your total income. So let's say you're meeting like 3,000 euro, you're making like 3,000 euros to meet the minimum income requirement. You're supposed to only get like 600 euros out of all that from Spain. Thank you sa pagsagot. Lagi kahit hindi mo ako client, nag-agent ako dati kaso weeks bago sumagot. That's definitely I get that. Because this is more of a passion project for me. So that I don't take a lot of clients then naman. I only take 10 at a time. Because for me it's just about building a community of virtual assistants and Filipinos here. My first few months living here in Spain was wouldn't say it was like bad. Of course I had my um partner's family nearby, so they were like really helpful in getting me acclimated and stuff. But it you miss talking in Tagalog. Like the first time I spoke Tagalog like on phone with one of my friends, it was like my tongue was like not used to it anymore, which was weird and I didn't know that would happen. Hindi naman yung hindi used to, pero parang ang hirap biglang mag-isip na without, kasi you always had to like, like convert your thoughts. So that's why I like doing this live as well. So don't report me. Why someone was reporting me like all week and I got like banned from doing lives. So stop doing that. Hi miss, can you do an in-depth video about, oh sorry, yeah. About living in Spain, the taxes, the culture, residency, citizenship. Yeah, I did do an in-depth video about taxes and social security. The culture itself, because I don't know. There are other content creators out there that maybe like, because for me I enjoy it. I love it here, but I don't want it to be like that. Like giving a free promo, especially because like a lot of locals here feel also that there's too much immigration and tourism going on. So I don't want to be like adding onto the pile of people, because there's 1,000 people there saying all the good things about Spain, and there is, it's like it's such a great country compared to like how I was living back in the Philippines. I'm so thankful for it. But I think culture wise, maybe a Spanish person would be better, like to interpret that. Like my Spanish is just like at A1, A2 level. It's not really like that great anymore. But I do post a lot about like stuff that I love here in Spain on Facebook. I do in-depth like thoughts, because I'm just much better at like thinking, I like writing stuff down than talking. So yeah, I do that about like healthcare here and how much I love it, because I was diagnosed with a lot of like problems back in the Philippines. And there was always like some medical gaslighting going on. So it was really helpful when I came here, and I thought it would be kind of the same, because a lot of people, like my partner has been living in Europe for the longest time. But he's also a foreigner, so he's living in Germany right now. But he did talk about like it takes a while to get an appointment and all that. But because I think I was living in Barcelona, so close to like, not so close, but like I'm like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half from the airport. I think it really helped that everything was kind of just fast, and everyone was so accommodating. The Spanish people, I never had a bad encounter yet. So I travel a lot around the Schengen area, because I'm so happy to be here, and also because my boyfriend, we used to do the visit visa every once in a while, so we do travel a lot. But the main thing that I really realize is that like Spanish people are just like so used to tourists and foreigners that they just like are not as racist as other countries, I feel. Of course you will have some weird interactions, but generally, like with Spaniards, like it's not really like bad, like it's not really not even bad. It's like I just had good interactions. It's like for me it's crazy that like that's how good. I was expecting already that like I'm never gonna make friends here and stuff like that, because I am a little bit of an introvert, even though it's not obvious because I do the live all the time. But yeah, it was really good to like make friends here, and you just like, even with just like cycling, like because I don't know how to like use a bike, and someone just like an old person was just like seeing me like struggling with like grocery bags and stuff like that. Would They were really helpful. I don't know though, of course, if it's just because I'm a girl, because maybe men have a different experience. So that's why it's great to like research about it and get a lot of opinions. So follow these people that are living here in Spain for a while, because I've only been here like more than a year. So who knows what are the experiences of people who've been living here for 5 years or a decade. How about residency? Yeah, we do talk about residency and citizenship too. I have long, like kind of long videos about it, like 2-3 minutes. Tama po, no? Dapat lahat ng docs is naka-translate to Spanish. Not necessarily. So, with apostles, the general rule is all the apostles are coming from the government. So, lahat ng documents mo na coming from a government, doon, kailangan i-apostle siya. Everything na galing sa government and sa client mo, lahat dapat siya naka-translate. But things nag-aling sa'yo, cover letter, CV mo, and all that, okay lang yan kahit simply translated mo lang. So, i-chat GPT mo lang. You're doing a great job. It will be advantage to too many people if you explain in English. I really want to, but I'm just trying to also be like, we are thinking of making a different channel for it. But I generally it's just I want this to also be like helpful as an experience for Filipinos as well. But and also I speak English like almost 24/7. My boyfriend and I like speak in English. My clients, we speak in English, so it was just the lives are a good break from it. But definitely for videos explaining important stuff, we do have captions in English, so I do make sure to like add that on my videos here on TikTok. Yeah, but thank you so much guys for like watching, to be honest. How to be nomad like you. So we do have a DIY guide in the website atainspain.com. But definitely it takes time. So don't beat yourself up. I don't think the digital nomad visa will get discontinued anytime soon. They're making too much money out of it because if you do not know, they do this to boost the economy of Spain, to have other people who are not competing with the employment market here and are paying taxes. So, like just let your journey take time, because I understand you won't make the minimum income requirement. I won't say won't, but it's hard to meet the minimum income requirement on your first year as a VA, unless you have like hard skills and years of work experience in corporate of something that is like a hard skill like engineering and stuff like that. Hi, do you speak Spanish na po? If yes, ilang months or years po before ka natuto mag-Spanish? I speak a little bit, so I'm at like A1, hopefully A2 level already. But it takes time. I try to carve out at least 1 to 2 hours a day of trying to like learn Spanish. But now I'm actually like enrolled now because I want to take the exam soon. Why did you transfer in Spain? I don't know, because it's just like I love the Philippines and I love my family that lives in the Philippines, but I feel like if I want to have children, so I already have a lot of guilt. So a little background: I am adopted, and I didn't have much of a great time growing up. So I have a lot of that guilt of like maybe I'm gonna be making a wrong decision, like having kids and stuff like that. Um, and I feel like I just want to make things easier for them, like not worrying about offloading or immigration, and just having a better passport than what I got stuck with. So that was my main point of trying to go here. So it wasn't really much of like oh, I love Spain and stuff like that. It was more of like, I want to get a better passport and I'm making this amount of money. I'm ready to pay taxes, social security, and stuff. And of course, the healthcare here is great. And I just really discovered how great Spain is once I arrived here. Like for me, I was just like, okay, I stayed there for 2, 3, 5 years maybe, and then I get the passport after 2 years, and I'm done, like something like that. But I actually come to like really love it here. My partner and I, after he finishes with his citizenship, his German citizenship, we're planning to actually move here in Spain instead of like living in Germany, because we feel like the weather here is great, the people here very great. So it was like that. So I'm sorry for being off tangent a lot, because I feel like we already discussed most of the topic early on. Kung VA ka po, pwede dalhin yung fam, 'di ba po? If ever need ba dapat VA din husband mo? No. So pwedeng ikaw lang yung VA. Ikaw actually lang yung kailangan nag-earn ng mataas. Kaso pagkasama mo yung family mo, mas mataas yung minimum income requirement. Like for example, if dalawa kayo ng husband mo, it's 3,799 euros. And then pagkasama yung isang kid nyo, it's 4,140 euros. So tumataas siya as nagdadagdag. So basically how they compute it is the minimum wage in Spain times 200% or times 2 is basically the minimum income requirement for one person. If you add a dependent, the first dependent is 75% times the minimum wage here in Spain plus the times 2. So now you have two people. And then for the next dependent and for the every other next dependent, it's 25% times the minimum wage here in Spain plus everything else. So nag-add siya the higher you go. So it's better actually, like for example, this was asked before. I'm sorry. This was asked before na paano daw if dalawa silang VA, nami-meet nila yung minimum income requirement, and sino daw yung magdadala for their two kids? Like, is it better like dependent and then isang kid? I mean, main applicant isang kid, main applicant isang kid. And I say, mas better main applicant, dalawang kids, kasi mas mababa yung minimum income requirement compared na dalawa kayong mag-a-apply for different kids. Hello, ate. Hi, Freely. My daughter can do social security or but private insurance, correct? Or mandatory social security. You have to do mandatory social security. You have to be paying your public healthcare. So if not, um they're gonna extinguish your visa after 6 months if you're not paying social security and taxes. So they're a tandem together. You cannot be just paying social security. You cannot just be paying taxes. It has to be both. So if you have private insurance, though, that helps speed things up a little bit when it comes to the healthcare here. Kailangan ITR, yes, and the consulate, they are looking for it as an additional requirement. But disclaimer, you can try to apply without the ITR. It's just with a lot of my clients, they kept being asked no matter what profile they are. No matter if sobrang ganda ng profile nila, they get asked for their income tax return. And some of them do have it and some of them have to back pay it. Pag resident ka ba, pwede ka bang mag-aral dyan ng short course ng libre? Have you tried that? So if you already are a resident here in Spain, yes, you can, while still maintaining the digital nomad visa. Yeah, you can definitely study here. And if you're a citizen, then of course, everything is like, because you're a citizen now, so if meron ka ng Spanish passport, then you're free to do everything. Need po ba ng ITR and proof of payment ng SSS if sa UHE mag-apply? You don't need both if you're in UHE. You just need like a letter that is notarized saying that I promise to like register for social security and taxes once I get approved, something like that. What if my husband works remotely for local agencies per international clients and employed BIR? Oh, so do you mean, wait, you can apply with, so technically yung employer niya, yung in contract siya is a local agency, right? So yeah, you can definitely still apply. Kailangan mo lang ng same requirements from them. Naka-citizenship na po, how long did it take? So I don't have it yet. I'm still waiting for me to finish the whole 2 years by next year early. So I'm not sure yet. But with my friends that already have the citizenship, it takes about 3 to 6 months now, depending on the region of Spain that you are in. May interview pa po if mag apply ng digital nomad. No. So in UHE, it's all digital. It's all done online, but you have to be physically here. And then in the consulate, they don't. They just gather your, like I said, it's BLS that gathers your documents and then sends it off to the consulate. So the consulate is the one na magda-decide. Pero yung magkukuha ng papers mo is BLS. Do we need to revoke Filipino citizenship or we can do dual citizenship? You can do dual citizenship. Well, technically, if you obtain the Spanish citizenship, it automatically parang makikik yung yung ano mo, Philippine citizenship. So, kailangan mong i-reacquire, which is kind of easy. You just have to go to the nearest like embassy or consulate to get your passport again. Yeah, so but yeah, you can do dual citizenship. That is our privilege kasi we are, like sinakop tayo ng Spain, and this kind of like repatriation nila na may fast track tayo na 2 years. Because usually it's 10 years to become a citizen, and it's 5 years to become a permanent resident. So for Americans or British people, it takes a while before they can apply for citizenship. But for us, 2 years lang yung fast track. How about po one main applicant tapos isang 1-year-old dependent? Magkano po minimum? It's 3,799. It doesn't matter if your first dependent is an adult or not. Counted pa din siya as a dependent one, like first dependent. So yung first dependent, it's 75%. Kasi nga naman it makes sense kasi it gets lower, 'di ba? Yung ano, yung kinakailangan. So hindi na po tayo permanent resident after 2 years. No. So after 2 years, diretso ka na mag-apply for citizenship. Hello, does student visa count towards the 2 years of residency? No, because you have estancia, not residensya. So, makikita mo yan dun sa visa mo sa passport, nakalagay estancia. That's a stay. So, anyone that's telling you na it's counted is lying to you. What they mean is that after mo mag-student, kailangan mo mag-work visa, or habang nagsa-student ka, kailangan mo maka-work visa, tsaka ka lang magiging resident. So, they're lying to you. And please don't get duped by these agencies. Pag nag-digital nomad po ba, pwedeng umuwi-uwi ng Pinas or after 2 years pa? Pwede, basta hindi ka lalagpas ng 45 days outside of Spain out of the 1 year. So, every 1 year, kailangan 45 days ka lang. Hindi na po ba need ng UHE yung mga hard copy documents since it's digital application? Exactly. So, scan lang siya. Hindi siya kailangan ng hard copy ng documents. So, for example, for Certificate of Good Standing, hindi na siya kailangan i-ship sa Pilipinas. Pwede siyang i-scan lang ng client mo yung document or ng provider mo yung documents, and diretso na siya ng sworn translation. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. The very good question, the Bebe. The Bebe. Ganda naman yung name mo. But yeah, pwede po ba travel to other EU countries while on digital nomad visa? Basta combined for, yeah. So, the rest of the EUs are open. I'm actually gonna be visiting a lot during the holidays. Pampalubag loob kasi hindi ako makauwi ng Pilipinas. So, we'll be traveling around the holidays on to other European countries. So, basically, mas madali po pag mag-apply through OHE. Yes, but the difference is some people are not qualified for the Schengen tourist visa. So sometimes it's harder for some people to apply in UHE. 45 days lang po combined. Yes. What's digital nomad po? So digital nomad visa is a visa launched by the Spain government last 2023. So that's why wala pa masyadong naka 2 years of residency. Last 2020, I think it was the third quarter, fourth quarter ng 2023. And this is basically for freelancers, for remote employees to come to Spain and work here. Like work here remotely, pero yung clients nila outside of Spain. So for example, if you have a client in the US, in the Philippines, as long as remote employee ka, you can work in Spain. So bakit ito ginawa nila? Like why? Because digital nomads or like to travel, right? Like nagta-travel sila while working from home, ganyan. So they want to get the taxes basically while you're here in Spain, and hindi ka nagko-compete sa employment market here in Spain. So they really like that. Spanish citizenship po. Paano? Spanish citizenship. With the Spanish citizenship, basically, kailangan mo ng 2 years ka na dapat na legal resident. So, proof of you being a legal resident here, yung approval letter mo from UHE, yung padron mo, which is yung registered address. Oh my God. And then, yung DELE, ang exam mo. So, yung kailangan naka A2 level ka na. And then, yung CCSE mo, which is basically parang yung cultural exchange mo. Like, parang nakapasa ka na dun sa exam. Parang siyang ano, paano ko ba siya i-explain? Parang siyang civil service, ganon, na exam. Na basically, tinatanong ka about Spain, about sa culture ng Spain, seeing how great you integrated. If ma-deny po, paano po process ng reappeal? You just reapply. You can appeal, but it takes too long. But so it's better to just reapply. How did you reason out to your client? Well, I got them on a Zoom call, which is after nung main meeting namin, I said, hey, can I get like 15 minutes of your time? I just want to talk about something. It's better to do this like personally, like they can see your face, you can see their face, so you can like, talk to them proper like a human person. Kasi first you appeal to their emotion. You basically tell them like, hey, this is the Spain digital nomad visa, this is what it is. It's a visa for like remote employees or freelancers like me, and why it's great because I get to stay there, I still work for you, I cannot get a job from there. It has to be you pa din. Even though that's technically like not accurate. But yeah, so ikaw pa din yung magiging like client ko. So I'm not gonna be like going there and then finding work there. So inassure ko sila with that. And of course, telling them that I can get the Spanish passport. You know how important this is to me because I'm a Filipino and I have a very weak passport and stuff like that. And then I tell them like, here are the things I need from you. I need yung updated na contract natin because we had an old contract. And tumaas na kasi over time yung rate ko sa kanila. So I was like, I need an addendum from that contract. Mas mataas na yung rate ko. And then I need a certificate of employment that you need to like sign. And I need yung certificate of good standing. With the certificate of good standing, though, because my client lives in Georgia, it was kind of easy. So I said, but with this one, I just need kind of like your consent and just to inform you that I'm gonna be getting it. So parang ganun na lang yung sabi ko. So parang hindi na sila maistorbo. And my boss was actually super nice because she had me draft out a letter and I just drafted it and then she like added a lot of stuff there like I support her. She's great. I don't think I'll ever get will ever lose her because she's such an integral part of the team. Ganun. Parang may recommendation letter doon sa may certificate of good sa employment. Pero to be honest, ang kailangan lang nila doon yung remuneration mo, yung compensation mo, yung job title mo, gaano ka nakatagal sa kanila. And parang ano lang, like aware ako na mag-a-apply siya ng digital nomad visa in Spain and I allow her to like work remotely in Spain. Parang yun lang. Yung 45 days, pwedeng hindi lahat i-consume. Like 30 days lang, tapos meron pang 15 days na pwede gamitin pa. Yeah, definitely. Uhe din po ba kayo or sa PH po kayo nag-process before flying to Spain? So my Spain Digital Nomad journey was, I applied DIY fully some consulate. And then once I got here, I reapplied for the 3 years DIY then. So I had to figure a lot on my own. And through this journey, I've met people along the way, like because I would share like, hey, nakuha ko na yung NIE ko, this is how to get it, and like a Facebook group. I got kicked there already, but for sharing too much information. Pero ayun, I just basically like parang sinabi like this and this. And then a lot of people message me. So that's how Ate in Spain started because they're like, Ate, paano yung ganito? Ate, paano mo to ginawa and stuff? So that's how it like na-create yung branding basically. So yeah, if your guys are DIYing it, you can still get the free consultation call. I have the DIY guide on the website and you can still message me. Just message me. I reply naman. I mean, some of you guys here are testament to that. A lot of people already got approved, and of course a lot of my clients also did get approved. So like it's just more of like a community of VAs that are here, especially people that are hire families. I'd really love to like help you guys out. So message lang kayo if you have any questions din naman. Paano kayo nakahanap ng bahay or apartment po dyan sa Spain? Di po ba mahirap maghanap? Medyo mahirap maghanap. However, like you said, etong part kasi, kaya I don't share much about my personal life on TikTok, like sa videos, because and I don't feel like mine is like such a special circumstance because this building actually matagal na siya na nandito yung sister-in-law ko. Since parang undergrad pa siya. So, anong undergrad pa siya, dito na siya. And then now they have a family, so they were moving out. So, they waited for me a little bit. Like, parang dinelay nila yung pag-move out nila. So they can reserve the apartment. And hindi nagbago yung price from like 6, 7 years ago. Medyo may konti lang na like price difference pero sobrang mura niya. So, hindi na ako naghanap. And then after noon, um, like we were planning to move on a different city once I get the citizenship. But Idealista is your friends. Idealista, Spot a Home, Technocasa, like you can talk to them there. And there's ChatGPT that, allows you to like translate stuff pretty much accurately. And of course, there are agents here, pero ang charge nila is parang yung kung magkano yung first month mo or half nung first month mo na rent. Ganyan. So, kunyari ka naghahanap ka ng apartment na for 500 euros, ang singil nila is mga 250 euros, ganyan, pag nakahanap na sila. Puwede po ba savings idagdag if di sapat yung money? Only up to 200 euros. So, kailangan talaga, very strict sila about meeting the minimum income requirements. So, better if ma-meet mo talaga siya before applying. But if may kulang ka mga 200 euros, ganun lang, or lower than that, pwede mo siya i-supplement with savings. How that's done is 200 or kung magkano yung kulang mo times 36, well, times 3 years basically, na kaya mo siyang mapunan. Um, okay. Or yung sa income lang need na makitang pumapasok. Include ng bank. For savings purposes, need ba namin i-include lahat ng bank's card para makita yung savings or yung sa income lang need makikitang pumapasok? Yeah, yung sa income, yun lang naman yung makikita nilang statement, yung sa income mo. And then yung savings mo, kahit bank certificate lang yun. After being citizen of Spain, pwede po ba umuwi muna ng PH bago bumalik ulit sa Spain? Yeah, you have now free will to like go about. Kailangan lang mo i-maintain yung citizenship mo by voting, by using your passport, ganun. Can I apply for work with a travel visa or do I need to get a work visa? If so, how to get one? You need to find a client. So here in Spain, it's they're a little bit tedious with work visas. Kailangan mo na makahanap ng magpe-petition sa'yo basically to work here. So you need a company that will basically deal with it for you. Can I apply for a visa while my citizenship is in process? What visa though? So if it's a visa for a different country, like for example, in process yung citizenship mo and you're looking to get a visa to the US, and yeah, that's fine. Are you required pa to know how to speak Spanish at a certain level? When applying for citizenship, yes, A2 level. When applying for the digital nomad visa, no, you don't need to know Spanish. Like I said, I didn't know anything when I came here. Makaapekto po ba yung pagbabakasyon mo every year sa residency mo? Yes, definitely. Kasi you want to show that you have a stable life here, actually one integrated in the community. So, better if talagang under 45 days yung pinaka-safe. Okay. High need ng malaking savings? No, not necessarily. With me, I just prepared like 3 months worth of nung magkano yung pinaresan ko. Kasi ayoko ipakita yung savings ko because most of them are in crypto and some of them are in a savings account that I don't declare. So parang for me, like it was just safe to like declare just one bank for savings. What if multiple clients, do they need the same thing from all of them? Yes. So that's the burden of having multiple clients, is that you have to get all of the documents from each one. But it's fine. It's not gonna be that bad. Wait. Ayan, just make sure of that. Ayan. Do you pay tax po sa Spain? Yes, you have to pay taxes and social security in Spain. I just got in what's the minimum again. For a single applicant here applying directly in Spain, it's 2,763 euros per month. yung income gross, so before taxes, and allowed multiple clients. Paano if walang ITR kasi not registered as freelancer pa sa BIR? You cannot apply in the consulate. Kasi recently, ina-ask nila yan for additional requirement. But you can try. Maybe mabunot ka as swerteng anak ni Lord na hindi ka hanapan, di ba? So, pero definitely, it's safer to apply in UHE. Okay lang po ba na dito kunin ang A2 certificate sa Philippines? Yes, definitely. Makakaapekto po ba yung pagbabakasyon? Okay, we already answered this one. Yung 45 days, pwedeng hindi lahat i-consume mo, like 30 days lang, tapos meron pang 15 days na pwedeng gamitin pa. Yeah, definitely. So, yung 45 days, ano yan, kahit iba-ibang, like, lumabas ka ng September, lumabas ka ulit ng November, ganyan. Basta in total, dapat 45 days siya. Magkano po required na salary? Oh, we just answered this. Is nurse po good in Spain? I think nurses are in demand pretty much everywhere. But I don't know if like Spain is the best option because yung minimum wage nila dito is not that big compared to other European countries. Parang they rank 8. Parang si Bonjoa Espanya ata yung name niya, or Voyage in Spain, yung or Voyage in Europe, yung pangalan niya ata sa TikTok. Parang nakita niya yung minimum wages here in Spain. Okay, I think we answered most of that. And then, ayan. Saan po kayo nag-apply as VA na pwede ma-hire sa Spain? So, they don't hire me in Spain. You're not allowed to have clients actually that's inside of Spain. Parang 20% lang dapat ng total income mo yung galing sa Spain. So, my clients are from the US. Some clients are in the Philippines, in Australia, ganyan. Oh no, okay lang if si husband may ITR for his local remote job pero not 4,000 as required. So titignan kasi nila yung tax compliance nyo and yung consistency. So your documents has to be consistent like I said in the beginning of the live. Yung contract, yung COE, yung invoices, yung bank statements, yung ITR, dapat pare-pareho yung itsura nun. So, yun yung magiging problem. If applying from the PH, how much is the minimum income requirement? It's about 2,360 for one person. Ate, paano yung process po? We have the DIY guide kasi iba eh. If iba yung, depende siya sa pathway mo. So, dun mo maano yung process. Okay? And then, saang platform po kayo nag apply as a VA? I've been applying sa Upwork and paubos na yung connects. Upwork is not really a good place to start as a VA because madami na dong veteran, alam mo yun? So, marami kang competition. What I would say is, if it's your first time, go with a VA agency. Because that's what I did. I couldn't find proper work even though I had really good background working with big brands in the Philippines. So, mahirap talaga siya if like magre-rely ka sa Upwork. OLJ is also a good place. And LinkedIn. Ayun, but definitely, you learn naman as you go then to find leads for clients. So, you just, depende talaga sa niche mo eh. I'm on the tech kasi na side. I started in marketing and then now I'm in tech. So, it's kind of easier for us to like find jobs, to be honest. Ayun. Oh no, okay lang if si husband may ITR from his local. I think I answered this freely. Ayun. May citizenship na po kayo? Wala pa po. So, I'm only here for more than a year. Ano pong course nyo? So, I didn't, my work right now is not connected to what I studied in college. So, I studied forestry in UPLB, but I didn't pursue that. So, I went into marketing and then went to tech. So, now I'm like a web developer and I create apps as well. So, ayun. Ask ko lang po, marami po bang mga recruiter jobs dyan? Not really. The employment rate here is not that good. So unless your Spanish is really great or you're like an expert in your field, it's kind of hard to find a job here, I think. Sorry, I missed it. Nagluto ako. Okay. So I said they look for consistency in the documents really. So yung contract, yung COE, yung invoices, bank statements to your ITR, kailangan nagmamatch yung kwento nyo dun. So if that makes sense. May marireka po ba kayong agency for VA starters na pwedeng applyan? There's Support Shepherd. There's what is this other agency that just emailed me? Cyberbacker. But I think talaga magsa-start ka ng low eh. Unless you really want na duguan na maghanap ng direct. Pero kasi ang problem dun, baka ma-scam ka pa. So, yun. If you pass CCSE, hoy Colleen, nandito ka. If you pass CCSE and DELE after 2 years, no need na mag-renew ng DNV or matagal pa result. 3 to 6 months lang siya, be. So, hindi ka na magre-renew. Hopefully. Yung iba daw kasi 2 years. Pero I think, kasi like, iba yung sa kung saan sila nag-apply. So, I haven't heard it personally from them. Parang mga ano lang to, kwento-kwento. Pero, yung mga kakilala, parang 3 to 6 months lang talaga sila. Okay. Totoo po ba yung 'pag meron kang ancestral sa Spain ancestor, yeah, sa Spain or lolo sa lolo mo at napatunayan possible for the citizenship? Yeah, it's called ley memoria. Yun yung ley de memoria. Yung pangalan ng, ano na yan. But it's ending, I think, October 22nd of this year. Not sure if it's got extended already. Wow, saan pa kayo nag-aral ng coding? So I was lucky because my client was really very good mentor for me, and I had a lot of good coworkers who like helped me along the way. But I started with drag and drop website. Like I started at Wix, at Go High Level and stuff like that. And then I learned as we go kasi parang sobrang nitpicky ko with how a website looks. I was like, okay, I think I need to code this and I will not get the effect that I want, gano'n. May pa-get together ka po ba, ate? Lumayas ka dito, RA! Hoy! What if mag-get together tayo ulit? Uy, to-get together tayo next week. What if? What if? Ayun, before po kayo naging VA, were you hired sa corporate? How was the journey? Yeah, I was hired in corporate. I worked in a lot. I worked a lot as a kid. So I started working when I was 15. I used to do like essays for people and copyright ganyan. And then as time grew, parang na-realize ko, okay, may freelancing market pala talaga. So I did a lot of that during college then. And then I met this person. Actually, na-meet siya ng friend ko in Bumble. Parang meron yung Bumble entrepreneur, something like that. Mga Bumble friends. Basta ganun, sa Bumble sila nagkakilala. Anyways. Tapos, naghahanap siya ng, like, mga copywriter and stuff like that. Tapos, yun, parang na-hire ako doon. And then, I did a little bit of graphic design and stuff. And then, okay, parang pwede ka pala dyan sa, like, sa ganyan. So, let's do that. And then, I do social media management. And then, I started working for big brands because one of my, parang, organization member sa organization ko at school, at college, may opening sa kanila. So, that's when I started working for big brands like Miss Universe, Philippines and stuff like that. It was a great experience for me. I love the hustle and bustle. I love that. I would record it as like one of the best things I've ever experienced. Kahit it was stressful as hell, but I do miss it. But after that, I got a health scare, and that's where I started transitioning working from home. So, ayun. Yun yung, that's the full picture. Are you still in contact po with your friends in the PH? Hindi, kinalimutan ko na sila. Charis, hindi. Yeah, we talk a lot. We do weekly catch up. We talk almost every day. Because also, I moved. So, when I went to Las Baños to study there, parang never na akong hindi na ako umalis. So, nandun kami most of that time. Kahit nung pandemic, nandun ako. Parang later in the pandemic na lang ako nag-move back to Marikina, where my mom's family was. And then, I went back ulit ng LB. Kahit hindi na ako nagtuloy, like I'm done with school and stuff. So, nandun ako nagstay. And then, yung sa application lang, nung nag-apply na ako ng DNV, tsaka lang ako bumalik ulit ng Marikina kasi it's easier, kasi Manila, nandun lahat ng DFA and all that. So, to make things easier for me, dun lang ako bumalik ng Marikina. So, we were kind of used to hanging out a lot, like physically together. Like, barely kami na magkakalayo. But I guess they also started working in corporate, so they really got busy then, ganyan. But I made friends din naman here in Spain. Like, ayan, andyan si RA, RA the freelancer. Yeah, yung mga yan, so they were really like very near and dear to my heart. Kasi they really made moving here just easier. Kasi I feel like if yung madaling i-prepare yung everything else, like yung papers mo, yung mindset mo, yung financial stuff mo, that's something that you can do beforehand. Pero yung emotional and, like all that, yun yung it takes really a toll on you if you like let it be. So that's why I'm doing this October series of things your ate should have told you before moving abroad. Because I just also want to like tell people like not just like there are a lot of very great things about Spain, about moving abroad and stuff, and it's very exciting, diba? But also that maybe there are some things you don't consider. Like for example, like some places are like as lonely as you make it out to be. So, maging malolonely ka talaga kasi ma-miss mo yung friends mo, miss mo yung family mo. Like, especially after mga 3 to 6 months where parang normal na, parang nakapag-sink in na sa'yo na dito ka na nakatira and hindi ka na nagbabakasyon, ganon. Yeah, so you will definitely miss them, and the thing is like how do you counteract that? But like creating more friends, like meeting more people and just overall putting yourself out there talaga. OMG, I just want, ay nako, wag mo akong kinokomentan ng ganyan, baka mahimatay ako, Charis. Maraming Asian grocery dyan sa Spain. In Barcelona, yes. But in some places of the Spain, mahirap. Makahanap. Hi, ate. Anong magandang bank you recommend to open here sa Spain? I think for me, I opened a few banks actually. But the thing I really use a lot is N26. Yun talaga yung the best for me. I'm sorry if like other people find that like annoying as an answer that I say because I don't know, I'm just like more digitally like the easier everything is, the better for me. So I understand some people want to do, there's no credit history here. So hindi siya parang US or in the Philippines na nabibuild yung credit mo. So unless you have a lot of money, they don't really like too much credit card anyway. So I'm for me like mas better yung N26, everything's done online. May taxes like auto deduct siya doon, may social security auto deduct siya. So and then when I go to the Mercadona or like in the market, ganyan, I just use my phone like and then like naka Apple Wallet siya. For real, sama na kayo sa amin, guys. Are there any Filipinos there on NLV? Yeah, of course. There are a lot of Filipinos who have the non-lucrative visa. I think some of them have a very big following on TikTok, if you guys know them. But I think they come from the US, but there are Filipinos. Are they racist pa sa Philippines? So we did talk about this a little bit, but to be honest, hindi talaga for me. But of course, it's like a different experience for everyone, talaga. I'm not sure if I'm just a girl, so they're not real like racist towards me, but the people I've met anyways are very pleasant. Maybe I had a weird interaction, but it's not even a racist interaction with a homeless person, but like who cares what he has to say? He's like homeless. Like, alam mo yun. US and USD ang salary, how they send it to you, Wise or Bank Direct. They still send it to me through Wise, and then I just like put it in my bank account. How was it adjusting po sa culture nila? Main thing that I still haven't adjusted is how everything gets closed for siesta. So they take their siesta very seriously. Kung tingin nyo yung siesta sa atin pang lola lang and for mga kids na tama na yung laro, matulog ka muna ng tanghali. Here they take it really seriously. Like as a VA, sobrang sira yung sleeping schedule ko. Like you guys probably know that. And it was hard for me to get on their schedule in the beginning. Tapos pagkagising ko or pag medyo okay, eto na like I wanna be up and about and gutom na ako. Mga 3 p.m. ganun pa ako magugutom. So, babangon, like, and then everything's closed and then they open at like later at night like at 7 and stuff yun. So another thing is I was used to 7-Eleven na 24/7 bukas, And I do miss a lot of 7-Eleven stuff. But yeah, walang ganun dito. Walang 24/7 na McDo or anything like that. I think it's more mayroong mas ano dito sa Barcelona. Mas maraming open, ganun, kahit like Sundays, ganyan. Pero for other parts of Spain, parang very ano talaga yung ano sila, sarado pag Sunday, ganun. Um, may I ask how is it at 4 a.m. sa surroundings? My time zone is PH, so just wondering. What do you mean? How is it at 4 a.m. sa surroundings? I don't really get it. Do you mean like how is it like everything's closed and at 4 a.m. Like I said, there's no 24/7 stores or anything like that. But also it's safe. I've never felt safer walking my dog at night than here. And I'm not really living in the like city center or anything. Medyo ano din kami, medyo liblib din. So it's not like it's not, I would say it's very safe, but of course it depends on saan ka titira, 'di ba? Magkano required salary po for digital nomad visa? It's 2,763 euros for one person, gross. Allowed multiple clients if you're applying here directly in Spain. Mas mababa siya if you're applying in the Philippines, but not that mababa since you only get 1 year digital nomad visa. It's about 2,360 something. Ayun. Sakto kakakuha ko lang ng notification na nabawas na yung Social Security payment ko. So, ayun. So, it's sad. I mean, it's fun. It's all good naman. I kind of accepted I will be having to pay taxes and Social Security. But, yun, masakit pa din. Pero, I feel a little bit better about it because I know where my money is going. Like, their healthcare is really good, even their preventative healthcare is really good. So, and I only got diagnosed here properly. So I really value that talaga. As a Filipino passport holder and working as freelancer, can I stay in Spain and apply for work? No. So, if digital nomad visa yung i-apply mo, no, you can't work inside of Spain. Yun yung parang rules ng digital nomad visa. Along the process po, kapag nandiyan na sa Spain, pwede po ba dalhin mom ko? Siguro after 6 months. Pwede if may dadagdag mo siya. So, that's an additional dependent na idadagdag mo. So, if ma-meet mo yung minimum income requirement, then yeah, you can. Para makasettle lang ng konti. Hope you are okay na now. Yeah, I feel a little bit better if that's what you're asking naman. Yeah, so I do feel a little bit better because I've been sick for a while because it's so cold here. I can't. Um, Thanks for answering. What is the nomad visa? So the digital nomad visa is basically for freelancers or remote employees that meet the minimum income requirement. So they can come here in Spain and they still work with their remote clients na offshore of Spain that like, so they pay taxes and social security here basically, but you get to stay here. And for Filipinos it's very valuable because it is legal residency, it's counted towards legal residency, and you only need 2 years to apply for Spanish citizenship. So yeah, if you guys are interested about that, ayan, can we declare yung crypto profits naman po as an income? No, no po. No and yes. I mean, some people what they do if business owners sila is they apply as the independent contractor of that business. So it depends if yung crypto nyo is dinedeclare nyo siya as a business entity, ganyan. Ayun, yun lang naman. So it really depends then konti. Is it okay if paiba-iba yung amount na napasok sa bank if may commission? Yeah, but they don't count the commission. So kailangan kung ano yung base salary mo. So they don't count the commission as additional thing. Or like hindi siya income technically. Kasi kailangan stable income yung 2,763 or whatever yung nire-reach mo na minimum income if you're applying with dependents. Ayun, so you have to make sure of that. Ayun, other than that, let's siguro talk a little bit about the process step by step. So, for example, like the first thing that what does it mean to apply in Spain and apply in Philippines? So, apply in Spain means you have to be physically here in Spain. So, you apply for a tourist visa or a visit visa. You come here in Spain and you basically like apply here directly. And then applying in Philippines means you have to apply in the consulate. Hi, Ate in Spain. Hiring ba kayo? I live in Netherlands. I'm looking for a new job. Right now in our company, no, not we're not hiring. But do you mean in Ate in Spain in general? It's just me. Like I cannot afford to pay people yet. Pero I'm trying to keep it like a very small company. Like it's just me, probably my partner. That's why we don't take a lot of clients because it's nice. It's a passion project. We try to like just do things as personal and as empathetic as possible to people because I understand it's not a tourist visa where if na-deny ka, it feels bad, naggastos ka, pero so what? You can still travel to another country or you can still try next time. But DNV is such a life-changing thing. Especially, I feel like that way anyway. So, ayun, like, I really feel like it's life-changing that you have to take it, like, to heart. Like, it's hard not to make it personal. 1 year validity lang daw ang visa kapag applied in Philippines. Yes. So 1 year validity if and it's a visa and it doesn't count towards citizenship. But if you apply here, it's agad 3 year residence authorization and it counts agad towards citizenship. Hi, Ate in Spain, yung client mo po USA based po ba? Yes, it's US based. And then it would depend din kasi sa state ng client mo kung paano kunin yung certificate of good standing. Because in the US, it depends on the state, same as Canada. Depending sa state, iba yung process nila how to get the certificate of good standing and how to get it apostilled. Pwede po ba magka-work dyan under nomad visa? No. So you're not allowed to work inside of Spain. Kasi kailangan remote work ka pa din. Hi, Ate. Kapag galing po sa Asia, paano po mag-apply sa Spain? So, under what visa po? Pag work visa? Pag work visa po kasi, di po ako masyadong maalam. Kasi I only do digital nomad visa. Mabilis po makuha ang COGS if sa Georgia. Yeah, it's fairly easy and straightforward. Pero may tax ka pong babayaran. Yeah, exactly. Because you have clients that are offshore. Thanks po. Tapos may minimum salary po ba for Nomad Visa? Akin kasi $1,060 a month. Yeah, there is minimum income requirement. I have it pinned yung full video kasi depende siya kung saan ka mag-a-apply and depende kung may sasama kang dependents. But in pinakamababa is if you apply in the consulate in the Philippines, um it's 2,360 something euros per month before taxes. Ayun. Thank you po. Oh, thank you din. Need ko po ba sabihin si client na kukuha po ako ng COGS or no need na? Depende kung saang state. May ibang state na kailangan nung explicit consent ng registered agent. May iba naman na pwede mo lang i-request. Pag solo po, it's 2,360 po, Mrs. XOXO. How much po ang tax and social security? We did talk about that earlier in the live kasi it depends. Progressive tax rate siya. So you can watch the playback actually on YouTube. I'll be posting it probably on Monday. And I do have videos here on TikTok about it. Medyo hanapin nyo lang siya konti. But I think I was wearing like three-parter video yun eh. Social security, and then taxes as a remote employee, and then taxes as a self-employed. Pero parang naka-black ako yun na may collar. Yun. Oo. Euro dapat sa langan. Yeah, you have to convert kung USD ka man nakaka-receive or PHP, kailangan mo siya i-convert to euro. Para ma-heads up ko po siya if ever mag-ask na may kumukuha ng COGS nila. Hindi naman nila yun makikita, hindi sila may heads up, pero definitely, for Georgia, makikita nila yon if tinignan nila yung history ng mga nag-download or something. Pa-shout out po. Hi, RJ! Grabe naman yung sa shout out. Yan daw, follow nyo daw si RJ. They're a family who moved here in Spain with also the digital nomad visa. Nagvo-vlog ka ba, RJ? Pwede ba dependent ang boyfriend or kailangan married? Pwedeng dependent, so they do accept unmarried partners. It's just a lot more paperwork than normal married partners. So kailangan mo kasing i-establish na you really have a good proof of relationship. Ano po ang best way para mag-cross country sa Spain, ma'am? Not really sure. Depende siya sa profile mo eh. Depending talaga siya sa profile mo. Ilang taon ka na, ano yung work mo ngayon, ano yung background mo, educational background and stuff like that. Sana magkagats ako gawin to next year. Huy! Pag-usapan natin. Pag-usapan. Nag-ano. Huy, for me then, it took me a while before, not necessarily like it took me a while, but we were like looking around and no one was offering like m makataong presyo for consultancy. Well, I get it. It was like, parang yung singil nila is about like 1/3 of my monthly salary. So it kinda like, medyo masakit pa din. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can do the research and DIY it myself. And I did. So it took me a lot of time. Like parang 6, 7 months ako na puro research lang and wala talaga akong kinukuha pang documents or anything. To be honest, I got some documents just to try gaano katagal makuha tong document na to or gaano siya kahirap. And then kinuha ko ulit nung mag-a-apply na ako. Um, how about kapatid po? No, you cannot get your sibling as a dependent. So only dependents are married partner, unmarried partner, so LGBTQ community, especially your kids, of course, your adopted children, your parents, if they're elderly. May agency bang nag-ayos ng digital nomad mo? No. So, I DIY the whole process myself and now I help other people DIY it. But I also have a agency. Not really an agency, but it's more of a consultation firm. Kasi yun yung ano namin sa BIR. So, I just want to say that. It's not an agency. But you can check that out on atainspain.com. Pwede ba transition student? And I do have a free consultation call, by the way. Ayan. Pwede ba transition student visa to digital nomad visa? Depends because there is a maximum cap, right? Kung how much you're earning as a student. So baka if you hindi ka compliant as a student dun sa student visa mo na hindi mo sinunod yung cap, ganyan, then hindi ka makapag-transition to digital nomad. Pero kung kakarating mo pa lang and then you found out about the digital nomad visa and stuff like that, then yeah, definitely you can. 2 years ko na to iniisip. Oh my God! Ang tagal mo na palang iniisip to. How much salary needed here in the Philippines to apply for nomad visa po? It's 2,763 euros for one person. If may dependent ka, it's about 3,799. So you can bring your dependents with you. But allowed naman ang multiple clients and magtataas actually minimum income requirement at the beginning of the year. We talked about paano kino-compute yung minimum income requirement na nakabase siya sa minimum wage. But yeah, definitely magtataas siya at the beginning of January kasi nagtataas talaga yung minimum wage dito every year. Yung pet mo po, sinabay mo na pagpunta mo dyan or binalikan mo? Sinabay ko na siya. Kaya kailangan talaga parang full heart na ako nun kasi mahal din, 'di ba, yung pet especially me, I DIY'd the pet relocation as well. And I also do that service. But it's more of my mom's business. But yeah, I DIY that and sabay na kaming pumunta. Ang airlines namin is KLM. So we had a layover in Netherlands before yung sa Spain kami. Gaano po katagal na receive ang approval mo, sis? So right now, so before kasi medyo mabilis. But right now, I'm seeing yung approvals for my clients in the consulate comes about 3 weeks. Medyo mabilis. And then for my clients naman here in, nag-apply directly in Spain here in UHE, about 14 to 16 business days may approval na usually. A fake 180,000 plus monthly. Yes, it is very high for sa minimum income requirement. Gaano niyo po katagal na receive ang approve? Okay. I think I've answered this naman. Paano, I don't know, super laki din po tax mo dyan. You can definitely see the video I just posted about the taxes I pay, but it's usually around 20 to 22% ng earnings ko per quarter. paano magpa-consult po? So I do have the link in my bio. So it's ateinspain.com-survey. So that's how you get the free consultation. So you basically just answer that form, and if you're qualified, we can have the free consultation. If DIY, after makomplete the requirements, ano na next? Saan na ipapasa? Depende kung saan ka. If you're applying in the consulate, you will apply it in BLS. Kailangan mo mag-book ng appointment. If you're applying in UHE, you need to have a digital certificate so you can submit it online. Ayan. Okay po, thank you. Medyo mahal nga, 133K para sa two cats ko. That's definitely overpriced. Kasama na yung ano dyan, like yung, because for the for like my mom's pet relocation thing, um flat fee kasi yung service fee. Yun lang yung flat fee. Tapos anything is scalable pricing. Basically, depende siya sa vet mo yung maging bayad. So that's why mas mura talaga kami compared to others. But I think it ranges about parang 40K per one pet. Kasama na from beginning to end. Then ihahatid na kayo sa flight. Ayun. How much po need income for one main applicant plus for dependents? Oh my God. I think it's about, don't quote me on this, better watch the video, pero I think it's about, one, two, three, sino ba yung four dependents? Okay, I think it's about 5,000 something. Like, it's like 5,200, ganon. I think. So, better to watch the video that I have pinned para ano. Uh, Hi RA, kung ano-ano yung chinachat mo dyan. Magmamahal na po income requirement next year. Yeah, at the end of January. So, medyo mga magtataas siya around 3 to 5%. So, if I were you, if magpa-plan kayo to apply next year, itaas nyo na yung rate nyo kung magpapataas din kayo ng rate sa clients nyo ng mga 3 to 5%. So, siguro mga 200, 300 na overhead in euros. Ano-ano yung dapat in-notice? We did talk about that earlier, kung ano yung need na i-apostle, and need is sworn translate. But basically, yung sa apostle, anything coming from the government needs to be apostle, and yung sworn translate, anything coming from your client and from the government needs to be sworn translated. Okay. Okay, wait. Naman na po. Saan ka? Oh my God, I can't. Wait. So, if 180K ang monthly salary mo sa Pinas, anong work mo po before you go there? We are VAs or like freelancers, so it depends. A lot of people, especially with my clients, are in different industries like social media management, in tech, in financial advisory, in some of them are even just general VAs, like they're just executive assistants. So, sobrang galing nila. Like, they're that good as an executive assistant. They get paid as well. Oh, medyo, okay. Saan ka pa nag-school ng Spanish language? So, right now, I'm just doing self-study, and I do a little bit of tutor na one-on-one. Happy to kay Ate in Spain, paraffle ka ng sinigang mix. Ewan ko sa'yo, te. Opo, kasama na plane ticket. Nakakahinga. Ngal every year tumataas. Yeah, I definitely get that. How did you get your accommodation? Where to get recommendations? You can look for Idealista, Spot a Home, Technocasa. There are a lot of websites here depending on saan ka naghahanap na area. Pag additional one dependent po, how much income requirement me? It's about 3,799 euros. Okay, sorry. Kasama na po lahat, anti-rabies, microchip, titer test. Sila na din po mag-asikaso ng papeles. Yeah. Yun naman usually talaga pag pet relocation assistance, kailangan lahat yan kasama na. Sis, last vid mo, nakita ko regarding income for one main to for dependents almost 300K lang. Nagbago na ba agad? So, baka depende yan, nakadepende yan in kung sa Spain or sa Philippines ka mag apply. Where do you get your sources? May website po ba apart from the embassy? So my sources come from, like, of course, the embassy itself and the BLS website and the Migraciones website here in Spain. Okay po, gracias por su tiempo. Gusto maging Spanish citizen. Okay. Pag isang dependent lang, me, how much, ayan, na-answer ko na to. May mga records ka ba na books or websites or apps for Spanish language? The A2 book from Maria, I forgot her name. But definitely I've probably tried to make a video out of it. Pero I started on YouTube. Like YouTube videos lang, and nung medyo meron na ako ng parang early vocabulary, that's when I started to actually like get into it and get serious. Kasi I feel like magiging super overwhelming siya if you take it like direct route na mag-aral talaga ng ginawa mo siyang exam. Marami po bang campsite dyan? Yeah, in Asturias. It's very green there. Possible po ba single mom and madalang anak ko dyan? Yeah, definitely. How much po nagastos niyo? So, I did a breakdown then na post sa Ate in Spain Facebook page. So, you can look at it. Kasi depende siya, di ba? Kung, ako kasi wala akong dependent. So, yun parang madali mo siyang makita din. Kasi depende din kung ilan yung client mo, ganyan. From Philippine applications is one main dependent plus four dependent. Please check out yung PN kasi I do not memorize yung numbers. Medyo mahirap ko siya i-memorize. So, you can just check the pinned video on my profile. And better if i-base nyo siya dun sa euro. Kasi yung euro, yung nasa website talaga nila. Hindi yung peso. Yung peso is just, like I put in the disclaimer there, na yun yung conversion rate at the time the post was made. Mahirap ba maghanap ng bahay diyan? Hindi naman gano'n kahirap, depende lang talaga kung saan ka, mag-i-stay. I'm so scared about how much tax I'm gonna have to pay. Yeah, that is, what happened. So I would suggest when decided na kayo and stuff like that, and you are, like, in the fence about it dahil sa taxes, get the free consultation with Entre Tramites. So you kinda get a breakdown of how much yung magiging taxes mo. What are the possible reasons na ma-reject yung visa? I think we do have like a video about the possible denials. But most likely than not, it's that you're not qualified or may additional documents sila na hihingin sa'yo and hindi mo yon maibigay. Like for example, your ITR. With who po? Entre Tramites. So it's ENTRE space TRAMITES. So they're like a big tax company here. Ilan na po successful clients mo sa BLS? I think we have now about 21. So nadagdagan na siya like from the last time this was got asked on the live. So we have about 21 and tatlo pa din yung ano natin like deferred or like nag-withdraw ng application. Yeah, pero mas madami actually sa UHE. Sa UHE, kasi mostly, like, andun yung mga application, andun yung mga first time din mag apply. So, I have about, like, 38 na successful applications. Okay. How much po yung income na need to live comfortably dyan? For us, we spend about, I would say, about 1,800, 1,500, ganon. With everything else, like rent, food, and all that. How much po yung full package nyo? So, I do have the pricing. It depends kasi kung saan ka mag-apply, but if you're just one applicant, it's 25,000 pesos or 399 euros. So, what we follow is yung euros na, not yung peso because the peso is starting to get weaker and weaker. So, compared sa euros. Hi, ate, Spain po ba yung employer nyo? No. So, with the digital nomad visa, hindi ka pwede na Spain yung employer nyo or Spanish. Ano yung usually follow-up talks na hinihingi ng BLS? Um, like DTI registration mo as a sole proprietor, yung if tumira ka sa ibang bansa, yung tax returns mo from there, yung tax return mo in the Philippines. Sometimes nag-ask sila na dapat proof na naka-register ka na sa Spain, which is kind of like not really doable. So we just offer a letter of explanation and yung social security number. Ano pa ba? Additional lang minsan, like parang, instead of 3 months lang yung ipapakita, if they see na, oh, you've been reaching the minimum income requirement for a year, can you show us the full year of bank statements? Ganun. Possible rejection sa UHE, ate. Possible rejection sa UHE is kind of similar, but wala yung taxes and stuff like that. I don't have much, wala pa ako, to be honest, na rejection sa uhe so far. Sana wala naman ever. Kasi I don't want people to risk it if I know. And I don't take on clients if I know na medyo dehado. Like, I will tell you straight up, sa free consultation call pa lang na, ito yung magiging problem mo, ganyan. Pero they ask for additional document always. If they are like bothered by, okay, how much do you actually make, or are you actually making this? They will ask for an additional document. They will not just outright deny you. Okay. Ano pa yung non-lucrative visa? So, non-lucrative visa is basically for retirees or people that have a lot of savings, pero hindi ka allowed to work in Spain or even work remotely from Spain, and you have to show passive income, or if may business ka, rental properties, ganyan. 1,800 USD question mark. No, in euros. Super mura compared sa iba. Ah, Hoy, Yozirawa, ikaw nag-start ka ng ano, ng ng chismis. Upside down na sore. Ate, hoy, sabi ko wag niyo akong binibigyan ganyan ka. Hindi ako okay mag-accept ng compliments. I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for being so nice to me. Wag niyo akong binabola. Paano po yun if I was undeclaring sa ITR ko? Then, you have to match it na from now. So, kailangan mong sabihin na you just started making this amount. Ganon. Kasi if nag-underdeclare ka, that means you're not compliant. Um, do you know or anyone, or do you help with translation? Yeah, so the translation, I do the simple translations for my clients, but the sworn translations, I have a contact for them. And you can see that on the Ate in Spain Facebook page din naman. Ate not allowed to work po sa Spain. Oo, parang kailangan i-maintain mo lang yung VA or VA mo or pagka-freelancer. So, hindi pwede na ano ka, like, ayan. How much pang translation? Usually, it's about 20 euros to 25 euros per page. But iba-iba yung pricing niyan depending sa sworn translator. And you can find din naman sa official website ng Migraciones. Already have a Spanish passport thanks to my great dad. Oh my God! Congratulations! Congrats. Sana all. Sana all, 'di ba? Kamusta po cost of living sa Spain? I did do a video about that as well, about the cost of living in Spain. Yung siguro yung pinakaano lang doon, main factor na sobrang changing is yung rent. Depende talaga kung saan kayo titira, ganyan. Took a year but it was worth it. Oh my God, congrats. Sana all jeans ang puhunan. No habla español. Kaya mo yan. Mag-start ka na mag-aral ng Spanish. Kailan kayo pupunta ditong Spain? Maybe we can meet. Ganyan. Ate, ano pong sunod after getting your NIE? Get your requirements na maggawa ka na ng strategy mo and your timeline, and you get all of your documents and you submit it to the BLS. Galing ako BPO 16 years. So, pinagkamalan akong kano when speaking English. Oh, congrats, be. Ang galing naman. Sana mag-meet up naman tayo. RA daw. Ikaw daw mag-ano. Ikaw mag-decide. Ayun. Congrats, Voodoo. Ba't naman voodoo yung ano mo, yung name na ano. But yeah, thank you so much then for sharing that. That's such good news. I love when I get good news. Ayun. Paano ka po nag-start mag-VA? I started sa corporate working and then I went with a VA agency. May bahay daw sila mommy sa Madrid. Never been yet. Ooh, fancy person. Baka pwede mo naman magpa-party dyan sa bahay niyo. Congrats talaga. Tapos mahal pa rin sa Madrid. So ngayon may bahay ka na dyan. Congrats. Sila mayaman hindi ako. Sana all. Ikaw yung sana all. Wag mo kaming sinasana all dyan. Ayun. But definitely, a lot of my clients live in Madrid. So maybe pwede natin silang i-meet up. Pundasyon ka na po pala ng VA industry. Ho, ba't ka ganyan? Bakit ako? I'm telling you, I can't be like VA person. Kasi, I mean, yung mag-VA courses, ganyan, oh my God, I can't. I can't be taking people's money like that. Culture-wise, yung crab mentality galing sa Kastila, am I right? Hmm, I've never been kasi sa ano, like working with Spaniards, ganyan. But I don't think nilaan pababa, ganyan. Alam mo talaga yung experience ko dito sa Spain is very, para akong ano, like, I don't know if I'm just like, parang very blessed. I've never had really like a bad interaction yet. Like, ewan if parang sobrang blessed ka lang talaga, ganyan. My old boss was Kastila. So, baka yung crab mentality, ganyan. So, maybe, depending talaga yan, like or siguro depending sa person. Kasi alam mo naman sa Pilipinas, parang may mga ganyan ding mentality, pero kung maayos naman yung person, di ba? So, pero siguro culture-wise dito, maano sila, ang daming sinasabi. Parang sabihin mo na lang sa akin na mag-book ako ng another appointment, ang dami pang sinabi, gano'n. Ayun, strict at organized lang sila. Yeah, but I think in Europe, they're just like very strict and organized talaga. Mm. Can you share us how you started the comments and how you started po, please? So, I do have the like naman yung mga videos and stuff before. Kasi patapos na yung live. So, mahaba kasi yan pag requirements and stuff. But definitely, you can go to the website to get the DIY guide. Ayun, parang nandun yun. Yung telenovela ng buhay ko, ganun. But definitely, for next time. Kasi patapos na yung live. So, I'm just getting like the last few questions. It's ateinspain.com and you can get that on my LinkedIn naman. And I have a free consultation as well if you want to strategize together and decide kung yung timeline nyo and stuff like that. Ayun. Thank you so much guys for staying for 2 long hours with me and I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the questions. Yeah, I will upload sa YouTube itong live na to. So I'll start doing YouTube etong full live. Definitely. It's just me. You know me guys. Ako lang to. Wala akong SMM. So it's kind of hard. Wag po kayong tama. I'm sorry. I'm saying sorry talaga kasi I can't. Sobrang busy ko din kasi malapit na yung start ng tax season sa US. So, ang daming nagpapagawa ng website, ng automation and stuff like that. So, definitely though, I will start being diligent. I think yung last week is already uploaded in YouTube. Etong week na to, ito sa Monday ko 'to i-aano. Huy! Hindi ako tamad mag-live. To be honest, 'pag may parang nanghihinayang ako na hindi ako makapag-live minsan, 'pag parang may bagong update, especially if I'm feeling like good and cute, ganyan. So, mag-live, ganyan. Girl! May nagre-report sa akin all week. Like, starting nung last live natin nung Friday hanggang nung Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Kaya naka-cut off yung live ko kasi parang may nagre-report. So, what the hell? if you need automation resources, I run an AI startup. Hoy, baka I actually run every part of my business and automation and stuff like that. So kung hiring kayo. So kung hiring kayo, I do a lot of like tech stuff and coding. So baka may kailangan kayo for web or app development. If ever my husband decided to stay good, dyan po, pwede po ba mabigyan niyo siya ng client? Oh my God, babe. Wala akong ano dyan. Wala akong ano na magbigay ng client. Hindi ako agency. So, kailangan maghanap siya ng client niya before pumunta dito. Hit me up if ever. Aww. Oh my God. Come on. IT people connect. Paano ba malaman 'pag reported? Na-cut, like na-ban yung live ko. Biglang binan yung live ko tapos I tried to appeal pero may nag-report multiple times. So, ayun. Feeling ko ikaw yun, Yozirawa, yung nagre-report ng live ko. Oo, girl. Hindi ko rin alam why, but it happens, I guess. Ano pa requirement ng digital nomad visa? We have that on the DIY guide on the website. Yeah, correct. Pag inggit pikit. Need ba Spanish ang employer? No. Doesn't need to be a Spanish. Actually, it's the opposite. It needs to be not a Spanish employer. Ang dami naman niya time para hindi ko nga din alam. I'm not sure ha. Baka maybe, I don't know how to use TikTok or what. Pero sabi yun eh, nag-message kasi ako, tapos nag-appeal ako kasi bakit. Tapos parang ano daw, parang yun, nilalay. Parang violating daw ako ng community guidelines, kaya ako ni-report. So, I'm like confused, but also like, okay, sure. So I had to wait. And kahapon lang siya natanggal yung ban. But yeah, I think I need to do lives to on other places. Maybe Instagram, yung Ate in Spain Instagram. So i-follow nyo yun. Baka maybe doon na lang ako mag-live if nabanto or something. Para jump around place. But I enjoy the live. The live part of things is the one I enjoy the most because I don't enjoy because I do graphic design na for work for so many years. Like, so parang yung paggawa ng graphic design or paggawa ng post, I'm not into it that much. But definitely, the live, I love it so much. Ayun, Twitch. Grabe ba kapag naging Twitch streamer na ako, puro laro na lang ginawa ko sa buhay. Ano po college degree nyo? It's not related at all to what I do now, but I studied forestry in the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. But yeah, it's not related to what I do now. So, don't be, alam mo yun, makulong sa sarili nyong mind na kung ano yung ginraduate nyo, yun yung kailangan nyo gawin. I find my passion here. Yun talaga yung parang nakita ko na, okay, ito talaga yung passion ko. So, yeah. Ano ka po nag-V8 eh? I started sa VA agency. Hmm. Oo nga, sa Twitch 'no, I'll try to see how to like set it up. But I think kasi for the mass people, wala masyadong may Twitch. Parang hindi siya masyadong ano sa Philippines, 'di ba? Parang main um people that's here on the live, ganyan, hindi man ganun super techy and stuff. So I try to make it as like makamasa as possible. Hello ate, if 2 years din resident na, pwede na po magka-work dyan? Yes po. Ayun. But like, some people were like, I tried kasi to move the live. Even just in YouTube. And wala talagang tao. So I'm like, okay, I guess TikTok is what works. Ayun. But I'll look into Twitch. I think it might be fun. I used to have a Twitch account din naman because I used to do a little bit of gaming, ganyan. So yeah, definitely will look into that. And mag-connect tayo para i-host mo yung meet-up dyan sa bahay nyo sa Madrid. Charis. Pilitan na pala to, pilitan na. Ayun, thank you so much guys for watching again. And if you have any other questions, just leave it on any of my videos. I'll try to answer them. I swear I'm trying to be better at making videos. But yeah, thank you so much. And what site po to see the process of the visa? It's ateinspain.com. So that's ATEINSPAIN.com. Ayan. So, thank you so much guys for watching. Ciao! Thank you. Thanks, you